I have consistently made over 6 figures in revenue every single year on Etsy for the last 3 years. And a big part of that comes from the decisions that I'm making on a regular basis about the niches and products I'm scaling at any given time. So with Q4 right around the corner, I thought it'd be kind of fun to share what my own plans are in each of my shops and the products I'm planning on listing. Now, this will probably feel a little different from the normal conversation around the ins and outs of the products themselves. I've talked about all of them on my channel at some point, and so if you have specific questions, by all means, drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. But this is going to be really more about the how and why I'm making these product decisions in not one, but two multiple 6-figure shops. Just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Mandy, and I am completely obsessed with being an Etsy print-on-demand seller. I'm also a busy boy mom of an almost teenager, and I actively run multiple successful Etsy shops. But I'm here and showing up on your screen because I'm also obsessed with helping other creative entrepreneurs feel more confident with designing, identifying profitable niches, and growing a successful product-based business, but without inventory and without the overwhelm. I was recently texting with my friend Emily, who many of you have met in our collab videos, and we were both just really acknowledging how challenging it is sometimes to list and do all of the things we want to, especially like when there are so many good options in our shops for where to lean in, while also wanting to test new things that come to the print-on-demand world all the time. It just really this concept of balancing it all with the decisions that we're making. And really what it all comes down to is being intentional and data-driven. Because I don't know about you, but my time is generally pretty limited, and I also want to be able to work in batches. I am almost always batching listings by product because it is how I make listing more efficient in my own workflows, because then I'm not hopping between templates and mockups and all of that. I've been doing it this way since day one, and it's a hill I will probably die on, even with all of the AI out there. So when it comes to thinking about what I'm actually going to be listing and what I'm going to be prioritizing, the first thing I'm looking at is the niches and products that are already working in my shops. In my video from a couple weeks ago, I talked about the one thing that I do before every Q4. And that really comes down to looking for the proof of what's working in my own shop so that I can do more of it. Sorry, if you haven't seen that video, I probably should have shouted spoiler alert before I said that, but there is more context behind it in the video, so if you haven't checked it out yet, I'll make sure I link it so that you can watch it next. So with all of that in mind, let me walk you through the products that I'm working on right now in my own shops. And along the way, we'll talk about why I chose this mix. So starting with shop number 1, the first product that I'm listing there is my Comfort Colors t-shirts. Now, this is one of the main products in this shop. I originally started with Gildan 18,000 sweatshirts, and I still have those, and I often use them for scaling my Comfort Colors, especially in winter months. So I'll probably have a few in there too. But honestly, the first thing that typically sells and the thing that sells the most right now are these Comfort Color shirts. So my priority with this one is simply to keep adding on some new listings in the niches that are already working in this shop. This has always been a more general shop, so I have a mix of hobbies, professions, and personal passion niches that I will tap into based on where my sales have been strongest this year so far. When I'm making new listings for these, it's less about gaining new momentum beyond the niches I already have and more about making sure I have fresh listings that are trend forward in their designs and that I know will appeal to customers that I'm already driving traffic for here. Now, this next product that I'm building into this particular shop might surprise you because it's a new one and not generally the first thing we think of when it comes to hobbies and professions and things like that. And that is jewelry dishes. And I know at first it might seem like odd pairing, right? Maybe, but maybe not. When these first launched with DecoPlate via AnywherePOD, which is a tool I use for listing and automation, one of the things I knew I wanted to test was beyond the typical concepts for these. which usually read more elegant, like the one that I tested with my own design. A little fancier, usually weddings, things like that. And don't worry, I'll talk more about those concepts in a minute. But I wanted to push the limits and I wanted to really test and see where else this product might work. Like, could it work as funny trinket trays for certain hobbies, or ring dishes for an office desk or nightstand for different professions? Basically, I'm coming at it from less of the who is searching specifically for jewelry dishes, because when it comes to specific niches outside the obvious, you're probably not going to find as much data. But you know where there is a lot of data? In the niches that people are already searching for gifts. So with that idea in mind, I'm basically looking at niches that already exist in this shop or that are adjacent to them and testing different design styles to see if it'll work. So will it work? We only know by testing and actually doing it, not by dwelling on the analysis paralysis. So that's what I've already been doing to get ready for Q4. As of this recording, these jewelry dishes have been available for all of 7 days in my shop. I had my first sale within 24 hours, not in my other event shop that we'll talk about, but right here in this general shop. And my second sale of these was about a day later, and it was for 5 of these dishes for a hobby niche. All that to say, do not be afraid to test, my friends. I'd rather test and fail and learn than not take the risk and potentially miss out on where there is potential. Because in some cases, when you test based on real data and truly thinking about the person on the other side of the screen that you're trying to sell to, more often than not, those tests become far fewer tests and fails and far more tests and wins. Yes, this is a newer product that, of course, I don't have a ton of data in my own shop for yet. But all of this to say, I am definitely adding more of these to my shop. If you're curious to learn more about them, I'll make sure to link last week's video that I did with my friend Emily. Little sidebar on them, I got a ton of questions from that video, especially around pricing. Now, this is a product, when you do just basic product research and search for custom ring dishes, you will see a ton of clickbait pricing where they look like they're selling for $4, but it's really a sticker or something silly added to the variation list for that listing. We're not doing that here, okay? I have had 10 orders within a week of listing them, and I have them listed with a solid 30% margin. So I promise you, focus on creating designs that tap into the identity of your customers and that are not a copy of everything out there, and then pay attention to who shows up for them. Now, let's talk about shop number 2, which is definitely my life milestones focused shop that's about a year old. And so the first product that's on my list for this shop to get ready for Q4 is, of course, tapestries. But I'm doing it with specific seasonal themes and my existing winning niches kind of in that life milestone concept. So tapestries are one of those areas that can also do really well with seasonal spins. So I'm taking some of my existing niches and doing things like Halloween themes for baby showers or fall bachelorettes or Christmas themed events. Because this is a product that's already doing really well in my shop, my priority here, again, will just be some updated designs based on those themes. I will also be sprinkling in a few new listings with some newer design styles to expand on several of the niches that are already performing well for me, especially for things like kids' birthday themes, which people are celebrating year-round. The second product that I'm listing in the shop is journals, specifically for matching themes or things like guest books for the tapestry designs that I end up listing. Basically, I treat them like a matching pair. This makes coming up with new designs super easy because I've already got the basic pieces from the tapestries. And so with that, some of them will have some seasonality Some of them will just be new designs for those niches and different events that I already have listings and traffic for. And that will ensure that I'm continuing to leverage not only the traffic that I'm getting, but the concepts that I know already work with ease. And then, of course, as I alluded to earlier, the third and final product that I am really prioritizing for this second shop for Q4 is jewelry dishes, but for different niches. Remember, this shop is focused on life milestones, not hobbies, not professions, not the other stuff, life milestones. So I'm already making sales with some of those bigger, obvious ones that you might think of, like weddings and engagements. I'm also planning on getting some baby-related themes out there, such as godmother proposals, which I know have really strong search volume, and even niches like new grandma gifts, for example, fit really well in a shop that's already serving people who are having babies and making pregnancy announcements. And then I also plan on sprinkling in some graduation themes to piggyback off of what's already been working for a milestone that is now past, which is back to school. Again, continuing to leverage not only on where I've seen success in my own shops, but also where I know that there is a path forward in the marketplace itself with that data and with that Etsy marketplace insights. And that's it. That is my big exciting plan for products that I'm focusing on listing going into Q4. And you might be thinking, oh, that's it? Yeah, it is. Notice that I am not making plans to list 10 different products or all of the new things. It's tempting. Believe me, I know this as someone who is constantly trying to resist all of the shiny things. Are there a million other products I could choose? Yes. Do I have other products that I sell already in these shops? Yes. Might the other options you choose look different? Also, yes. My shops are not your shops, and your data might look very different from mine. And that is the point. And that is why between that last video where I talked about that one thing I do before Q4 and this one talking about the products that come from that, I wanted to help you understand what my decision-making process looks like and how that translates into what I'm actually listing so that you can then apply it to your own shop. And so having this small subset of products in mind while I'm listing over the course of the next several weeks means that I have a focus and a priority. Mine are intentional based on my shops and what I know not only works, but also where I am intentionally wanting to leverage Q4 traffic for testing to collect even more data, like with the jewelry dishes, while also balancing what I know that I'm reasonably going to have capacity for. The goal is not to burn myself out. The goal is not to throw anything and everything at the wall. The goal is to have a plan and then follow it. It's that subtle difference between listing to just hit a number and listing to actually make sales. It's how I protect these best creative months instead of burning them on designs that are simply a guess. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what your plan is for Q4 and if you have any questions you'd like me to tackle next. As always, stay focused, my friends. Keep taking action and never stop pursuing excellence in your business. Thanks for watching. I'm so glad you're here, and I'll see you in the next one.